Welcome everyone to the action-based proposal final pitch and grand finale. I'd like to just take a moment to introduce our co-creation team and digital health leaders. So I'll just introduce one by one. You can say hello if you'd like. Dr. Sean C. Jones, Dr. Luisa Paganini, Dr. Hazem Khout.
Hello.
Dr. Mohammed Ayaz, Dr. Funmilola Wuraola, Dr. Adel Hussona, Dr. Michael Dennis Delapaz, Dr. Görkem Akçam, Dr. Luca Gordini, Dr. Adnan Mohammed, Dr. Asif Mehraj, and Dr. Musilu Tolani. Our digital health leaders, Mr. Robert Sundalis.
Hello.
Hello.
Dr. Shrikar Reddy. Dr. Saurabh Paul. And Mr. Ritesh Patel.
Hi.
Now, let's move into our Dr. Innovator co-creation team pitch. We have team representatives, Dr. Ayaz, Dr. Delapaz, and Dr. Luisa Paganini. Dr. Ayaz, I'll let you begin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Mohammed Ayaz, and I welcome you all on behalf of DIUP co-creation team. The purpose of today's meeting is to brief you about an innovative robotic surgery system incorporating artificial intelligence, enhanced visualization, extended reality, and haptic sensory feedback to empower the surgeon to deliver a safer care and eliminate the physical pain of the current console. Next, please. So this is a short history of robotic surgery, which started in the 1980s with a brain biopsy. Nowadays, a number of robotic systems are used for a wide variety of surgical procedures. However, the most prevalent one is the Da Vinci. Next, please. The objective of a surgical robot is to supplement and augment a surgeon's skills, and that too in a master-slave relationship. The surgeon controls the robotic arms fitted with various instruments from a nearby control terminal, while the visualization is provided by a stereoscopic camera for 3D viewing. The control terminal also filters out any hand tremors for added precision.
There is a disorientation that occurs as a result of the perspective of seeing things on the other side of the tunnel and operating through a laryngoscope, sort of like that you're actually in the tunnel. And the microscope through the laryngoscope helps to eliminate some of that distortion and disorientation by putting your perspective at the end of the laryngoscope. But you still have a very narrow point of view.
Da Vinci has those haptic feeling, so you don't feel if you touch, if you are going to do stitches in a tissue, you don't feel the resistance as you feel in endoscopic laparoscopic surgery, regular one. So this is a starting trouble.
So by interviewing, empathizing with a couple of proficient robotic surgeons, as you all see, we came to the conclusion that visualization in most of the current robotic system is limited to visible light only, thus barring the surgeon to see through the tissue for additional information. Also, the fixed viewing screen compels the surgeon to take such a posture which becomes uncomfortable with prolonged use, resulting in physical fatigue. Furthermore, the sensory touch feedback experienced by the surgeon while manipulating the tissue in a conventional surgery is also lost in most of the current robotic surgical system, as the surgeon is not in direct contact with the patient. Our goal is to design a robotic surgery system with better visualization by incorporating other imaging modalities, use of extended reality goggles for freedom of position and posture, and haptic and sensory touch feedback from the sensor embedded in the instrument to the controller. And we believe that such a system will not only decrease the physical pain experienced by the surgeon, but also improve overall safety of the patient. Now I request Dr. Dela to continue with the presentation.
I am Dr. Michael Dennis de la Paz on behalf of our team for the solution of those problems. Our group come up with a single port system combining 4 previously separated instruments, namely the laparoscope, the camera, the light source, and the access port or trocar, into one device with additional miniature sensors like ultrasound for visual enhancement. This jointed camera and ultrasound sensors of the port coupled with additional upgrades from the hand instruments such as graspers or the dissector that is equipped with sensors like ultrasound, pulse oximeter, pressure sensors or the like, plus the addition of diagnostic integration from the patient's radiologic examinations such as X-rays, ultrasound, CT scan, or MRIs, of which can provide useful data that can be produced artificial intelligence and deep learning system, which we shall call as AI1 or all-in-one, which can provide a form of visual enhancement through a comfortable, wearable, augmented reality glass of the surgeon. We coined this technology as holistic visualization, providing direct reality from the camera, augmented and mixed reality from the diagnostic data and various sensors, and enhanced reality, which we shall term as visual haptic feedback, which is made possible from the multiple sensors that can tell surgeons that the tissue he or she is seeing is or grasping is vascular or pulsatile or fibrous or friable through the AR glass. Additional use of this technology is that it can provide the surgeon the opportunity to evaluate and experience the digital twin of the patient, and for other expert surgeons that they could also evaluate it for mentoring purpose and enabling to figure out the safe and right plan and mode of operation tailored fit for both the patient as well as the surgeon. So in this diagram, it shows the possible good outcome of the solutions, providing integrations of direct visualization from the camera and all the visual enhancement data from the diagnostic examinations, such as X-ray, ultrasound, CT scan, and MRIs, and the sensors from the camera and graspers like the ultrasound, pulse oximeters, pressure sensors. This helpful data will contribute and will be integrated to the AI system into one, which can be seen by the surgeon through the AR glass. For example, suppose we have a case of thyroid surgery. It is important, aside from seeing the organ, we should also see what is underneath. So in this system, it would provide the visualization of its vasculature or blood vessels and also the nerve, so that in that way, the surgeon can safely dissect to the right plane and avoid complications like bleeding or nerve injury. One best features of this provision is the provision of visual haptic feedback. Definitely with the conventional or even the new robotic laparoscopic system, everything about feeling or touch by the surgeon to the patient is eliminated because of the instrument hindering in between them. But with this system, it will be translated into haptic feedback by enhanced visual haptic feedback. It is analogous to a blind person that is able to see from his touch. But in this system, we are able to adapt to touch from our eyes, made possible through these solutions. Then while now, I bring the floor to Dr. Luisa Paganini.
Hello.
Hello.
Right now, I think you're wondering why this is a good opportunity or an advancement at all. And we believe technology is ever evolving and it needs to do so to keep solving human problems we have along the way. If no one had ever thought to put videos or emails inside a phone, we wouldn't have that beloved smartphones we have today. They're 100% time in our pockets, right? So robotic platforms have been updated along the years towards patient safety and surgical precision, and they're great at that. But along those advancements, we have lost touch with the surgeon's feedback, and we have not focused on a human-centered design. So we have the surgeon way back there on a little bench, hunched over to try and see what he's doing without actually feeling what he's doing, which is the basis of traditional surgery and what we have all been taught to do along the years. So we believe the next step is having surgeons both be comfortable and have all the information they need with the precision the robotic platforms can give us. Rested surgeon is a better surgeon, that has been proved along the years. And a surgeon who's feeling what they're doing is also a better surgeon. So this aims to bring the better of both worlds together. We want to bring traditional surgery and robotic surgery together with what they have and what they do best for a better procedure for both the patient and the surgical team. Was to first talk with both Dr. Jones and Dr. James in lengthy interviews and try to see what their problems were in using those platforms. This is what we've come across after doing the interviews, which is what they were saying, thinking, doing, how they were feeling while doing this. And this is our notes on the process. So we wanted to see what their pains were, and what we could do to solve them. And we just summarized what we thought were big pains and things we could solve for both of them. Then we divided and everything into what we could do to solve those problems. So these are everyone's ideas for trying to solve how mine. So we need a haptic feedback. How to do that? Is this some sort of bioimpedance? Is this an ultrasound? Is this a better joystick or a better seat for the surgeon? And well, this is everyone's thoughts, or how to get better lighting, or maybe how to get arms that reach all the way across. And we had many Zoom meetings, just try to get to what everyone thought would be good solutions for that and how we could combine everything. We had a lot of ideas. These are just a few of them. And so that went to a vote. So we could get what everyone thought was a better idea to work on. And the best for all of us with the most votes were enhancing feedback and better ergonomics for surgeons. So that's what we chose to work on. And after we chose to work on that, we started on sketching different things. So we had the, as you could see back there, the better chair with the screen on front, but wait, with the screen, maybe you have to just look at the screen rigidly like you do with the little bench, and that's not so good. So maybe AR glasses would be better. Okay, so we go to AR glasses, and the lighting isn't so good. So what if you put a lighting on the board so we could see everything and really illuminate the field as you would have on an open surgery, and so forth and so on until we reach this final sketch, which is just a sketch for now, but we hope we can, with the tech team, actually develop this into something that could ease everyone's lives.
Wonderful. Thanks. Thank you all. That was a wonderful, wonderful pitch. Let's move now to our Q&A with our digital health leaders. And the way this will work, we'll ask each digital health leader to take about a minute to ask a question or two or give some feedback. Once we have all 4 questions, we'll then move to our Dr. Innovators to get their responses. So we'll begin, go left to right, beginning with Mr. Ritesh Patel.
Hi guys, thank you first of all for inviting me. This is amazing. I have sort of a couple of questions. One was, the focus was more on the ergonomics. You know, you talked about posture and everything else. With goggles, do you think that's going to change that? And how are the goggles being connected to a system that will give you a better input, if you wish, right? From a speed and a processing perspective. I think that's one of the questions. And the second one was around, in looking at what you've got going, connectivity to some sort of AI solution for imaging. How are the images going to be created? What are the sort of the basic algorithms that you've sort of thought about when it comes to that? Those were the 2 big ones for me, particularly.
Excellent. Great questions. Thank you, Ritesh. Let's move please to Dr. Reddy.
Yes, hello, Dr. Reddy, chair of the Michigan Academy of Family Physicians and telemedicine leader. So I don't have any questions at the moment in regards to this. I am impressed with the presentation and the vision of how to implement this, and basically therefore how to expand on what we have right now. Very familiar with the Da Vinci robotic system and some of the pros, some of the cons, and kind of those next steps. So definitely interested in seeing this progress, and that's it for now from my end. Thank you.
Thank you for that feedback, Dr. Reddy. Let's move to Mr. Robert Sundless. Please, your questions and or feedback.
Yeah, thank you, David. It's a privilege to join you on your journey. Thank you so much for the opportunity and very impressive work. I think what struck me the most is, I know as clinicians, you are trained to assess and control and act in your environment. And I was impressed with the process of sincere listening, gaining constructive feedback, and then collaborating as a community as it relates to potential improvement. And the key question for me is, how has this process changed the way that you will show up as a surgeon going forward in implementing your skill set and your professional competencies? So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Thank you very much, Robert. Excellent questions and feedback. Okay, let's move to our Dr. Innovators. We'll have about 5 minutes. Let's begin with first question about the posture, and if you believe that the goggles will solve that issue. Would somebody like to, one of our Dr. Innovators, like to jump in? Anyone want to volunteer, or I can?
Yeah,
I can pick some. Okay,
I can answer. The thing is, with the fixed screen, you have to look at the screen on a certain angle so that you'll see what's going on at the screen. So if you look at the screen this way or just biased, you won't see everything that's going on there. So the thing with the goggles is a lightweight goggle, so it won't be heavy on your neck all the way. So you can change your head along the way and still see what you need to see. So that's the idea behind solving. It's not that we're gonna have a better visualization. Like, it's not different from the traditional screen, what you're seeing actually, except for the thing that we're gonna add some lights to that, but that you can have a better posture. So you can operate like this, or just looking straight up. Or maybe if you're lying on the chair and you're just looking a little bit upwards, you're still seeing the whole field. So that's the idea.
Please.
Yeah, Mr. Patel and all other people who are non-surgeons, to tell you honestly, it's like a professional hazard, the ergonomics. We as surgeons face, especially with all types of minimal invasive surgeries, so be it laparoscopic surgery or be it robotic surgery, So our necks, usually whenever you operate for 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours continuously, so our necks are like on a stretch, and all the time we go home, it's always aching. So it's a big problem. That's why we discussed this issue. And we found that this is one of the most important problems that surgeons are facing, and it needs a solution. So if we put on a goggle and your neck movements, they get reduced, So on a robotic system, while sitting on a console, your neck bends at an angle. Or even if you work on a laparoscope, so your neck again bends at an angle. So it's not a stable position for our necks. So putting on a goggle, you can do wherever you want to move. So it gives you a stable platform sort of a thing for your neck. And it's going to be a huge revolution for all the surgeons who are into robotic or laparoscopic surgeries.
Thank you, Dr. Mehraj. And we had one other question. I think you may have addressed this a bit. Ritesh Patel had asked, would you have considered a mixed reality such as HoloLens? And I believe that actually was considered. Would anyone like to talk about the different?
David,
yes,
may
please, Dr. Casigliola, please.
Yeah, listen, just I would like to draw the attention in one aspect, very important, is the training. We need to consider the training center in robotic medicine, because we have some center equipped, but it's not easy for the doctor to have access to this center. Probably, and this is one aspect for the future, to consider the training center at international level. And I would like to invite all participants to think about with some propositions. Also, it's possible to involve the European Commission or the other international institution to create this opportunity for the young doctors to have access to the robotic medicine. Robotic medicine will be the future, but we need the very validated training centers.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Vincenzo, for suggesting that. We are looking into a global network of innovation centers and a hybrid model, which would be both virtual and physical once it's safe to be able to do that. So thank you, Dr. Reddy, please. Thank you, Dr. Vincenzo.
Yes, going back to Dr. Mehraj, who made a nice point in regards to the neck movement, and Luisa, you had referred to this earlier as far as the 4 hours, 6 hours for long surgeries and neck movement and the posture. Just as a non-surgical physician, give me just a brief recap of what you in your presentation earlier about how this particular lens that Dr. Mehraj is referring to, how the vision on that, or how that's helping with the posture within the neck.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. The lens on the goggles, you mean?
Or the goggles in itself. How is that Dr. Mehraj referred to the long positioning with the cervical spine and the neck?
Yeah, I'm a surgeon. I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
Yes.
So you have the patient beneath you on conventional surgery, and you're always looking down, right?
Yes.
No matter what you're doing, most of the times you're looking down. And sometimes you're just angling yourself, trying to get to something, which is always a pain. And in long surgeries, I do mostly oncological surgeries. So we have 4 hours, 6 hours, 8, 12 hours procedure sometimes. That's what he said. You always end up stiff and something hurts and your back hurts and all. With robotic surgery, that would be better, right? Because you don't have to bend and work your way towards that, because the robot is doing that. But then you have this platform where you have to stay on a little bench, just looking downwards all the time. So your head is making a downward force on your neck during the whole procedure. So with the goggles, the idea is not that you have such a better screen at first. I mean, we could always think of that as a second step, but that you could rest your head on a better position. So you can still see what's going on and the robotic arms are doing their thing, right?
That answers
So
my
that's
question.
the
Thank you,
idea.
Dr. Paganini. Yeah, perfect.
Thank
Welcome.
you. I think there were some other discussion about, we saw some of the chairs and exoskeletons. Dr. Tolani, I see you have your hand up, please. Dr. Musilu Tolani.
Yeah, just to add to that, I mean, our consideration was also because this innovation, translates to moving from an area of fixity, looking at the console continuously, to getting some form of adjustable headbands that will be iterative to the movement of the surgeon, to give some comfort. Just to add to the question of how this will fit into ergonomics. And David was going to talk about some form of exoskeleton.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we had looked at some of those ideas and had some great ideas come up, and to solve the pain and the neck and shoulder pain, and the team believed that the AR glasses would, but yeah, there may be some other pains that come along with that. Akçam, Dr. Akçam, please.
I wanted to refer to Mr. Sonderles's question, which was more of a fundamental viewpoint, especially looking from not only surgeons but all doctors' standpoint, which when there is a hindrance, back then the doctors were like, yeah, this is a hindrance and we have to adapt around this. And now we have the chance and the platform to say, yes, this is a problem and this needs improvement, not only for us, but the patient's sake as well. So I see this platform and the meetings that we've held, the interviews we've done with the robotic surgeons and everything, this was asking them, what was the problem for you? The major problem, what needs working on, was the fundamental standpoint we've looked from, I think.
Great point. Great point. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Akçam. And Dr. Jones, please.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I think the idea of education and collaboration internationally is really important. I don't think anyone ever really instructed me, or I don't even remember having a discussion about ergonomics, but I find myself, even with endoscopic views, sometimes straining my neck, like changing my neck posture is going to change the what I see on the screen. It is almost a reflexive response to thinking you're going to change your field of vision by changing your neck movement on a screen, if that makes sense. So I think making surgeons aware of the positions they're putting themselves in is really important. As Dr. Paganini said, you can find yourself so focused on what you're doing that you have your body contorted in this odd shape for literally hours. And that's where the problem comes in. And so the virtual reality goggles, I think, are a great idea, but then the weight of the goggles, the center of gravity and balance of them on your head, all of those things are going to make a difference. And then making the surgeon aware that, you know, you can still be looking up because of your focus and strain to see something outside your field of vision that doesn't make sense, but you do it anyway. So it will take some training in that regard.
Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Jones. Excellent point from real life experiences, and that's what this is about. Would anyone like to address the question about how this process that we've gone through as a surgeon has changed how you show up as a surgeon, as Robert put it? would anyone like to talk about how you view things differently and how you process them, approach them differently through having gone through this process?
For me, I went into this process with the whole doctors, innovators, not thinking we were gonna just delve into design and thinking about new designs. I thought of the course initially more of as of, I don't know, learning what's out there and seeing what's new. And that was a big and excellent surprise, because now when I'm at the hospital, I do tend to see things from another point of view, and I do look at what the nurses are doing or the patients are feeling, and maybe how we could make some small adjustments along the way and along our routines to make life better for everyone. So sometimes it's not a big thing like this and this whole project. Sometimes it's just a small adjustment as, well, this place could be a little more comfortable, or this patient could have something to see while he's waiting, or this is just too cold for patients who are waiting for a surgery and almost naked and nervous, and so on. So that was a really good process, and now I feel like I'm much better prepared to handle day-to-day difficulties we have at the hospital.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Dr. Ayaz, and then Dr. Al-Hussona.
These 12 plus 1 week of the course that we went through has instilled in us the design thinking mindset on how to empathize with others, to know their pains and come up with a meaningful solution to mitigate those pains. It has enabled us on how to harness the flow, the mastery, the patient curiosity and grit in order to rise up to any situation, any challenge, not only in professional life, but in day-to-day life as well. And to thrive under unfavorable conditions and to achieve our goals while decreasing the burns out to the process of automation, synergy, co-creation, and incorporation of digital technology. After attending the course, my knowledge about the high-tech surgery and digital health innovation has been grown exponentially, which has opened new horizon for me. And I'm very thankful for that to the whole DIUP team, the TAMP, the HTC, and all those who were involved in it. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ayaz, for sharing that. Dr. Al-Hussona, and then Dr. Dela after that. Dr. Al-Hussona, please.
Hello, David. Hello, everybody. As my colleagues mentioned previously, I think from my point of view, it's a very successful journey by all the meanings, expanding our knowledge and opening a new door in technology for us. The great benefit from that, it makes our brains together. We have discussing, questioning, answering, and also viewing a more expert surgeon in robotic surgery. And also we try to be in flow status and try to learn more about design thinking, as Dr. Ayaz said, not only in our profession, but also in all aspects of life. Also, we would like to continue this advanced status. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. Dr. Dela please. Thank you, Dr. Al-Hussona.
Yes, thank you. How it was, it changed me. Definitely, it made me to be proactively involved, especially in our country. This is a developing country. Our technology is not that at par with the other developed countries, but then I gained much respect to those who develop those technologies and understand the process, know how to listen, because you learn even to those healthcare workers, the pains, empathize with them, and then afterwards try to do a solution to it to contribute. And it's not hard. It's not easy. It's very hard. So definitely, I gain respect to those who develop these technologies, and I want to be proactively involved in it.
Thank you, Dr. Dela Paz. Appreciate you sharing that. Okay, I think we had better move on to our grand finale opening. And so please, next slide. I'd just like to introduce some of our VIPs. As I mentioned, we had several traveling, some called into emergency surgery. They could not make it. I just wanted to acknowledge and thank everyone, including Mr. Michael Rousseau, founder of Silicon Valley International, Mr. Stanley Kowalski, who's with us here today, our mentor at New Chip Accelerator and serial entrepreneur, Dr. James Skinofsky, president of High Tech Surgery Association, was called into emergency surgery today, so couldn't be here. Dr. Castigliola is here from GMDVA. Dr. El Hussona from Open Source Research Collaborative, founder and coordinator. Ms. Rashmi Gurnani, who is here with us today, CEO of AKT Health. Mr. Srikanth Injamori, CEO of Interact Inc. Dr. Leonardo Aguiar, who is HTC DIUP Dr. Innovator Facilitator and TAMP Advisory Board. Mr. Robert Yao, HTC DIUP Co-Development Team TAMP Board Member, and Mr. Aditya Talapragada, Technical Co-Founder at TAMP and CTO and Board Member. Next slide, please. So now I will give it over to Dr. Leonardo for about the HTC DIUP Digital Surgery Program. Dr. Leonardo Aguiar.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Leonardo Aguiar. I'm going to talk about the HTC Digital Innovation Upskilling Program, as we call DIUP, Digital Surgery, with 57 doctors participants from 31 different countries. The journey started in May and finished today, with 4 modules were interconnected on a total journey 12 plus 2 weeks. With module 1 with innovative mindset, exploring flow, synarchy, and exponential thinking. And all the episodes were taken on AMP Doctor. And the module 2 was focused on human-centered digital health literacy. And the doctors interacted on our flipped model called Doc Live. And the module 3 was about digital tech applications. And we were talking about international of things, international of medical things, and the medical device I personally use and trust. Module 4 was about action-based proposal creation. On a design thinking journey that started with team building and finishes today with the final pitch. And the doctor participants, they have the design sessions, design thinking sessions on Mondays, and even a thought-provoking discussion took place during session thinking 12. And as you can see, the team really collaborate and co-create to complete the proposal. And the doctors' innovators' journeys continue in the pathways. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Leonardo. Now we'd like to move to our doctor innovators sharing their own personal journey experiences. So we have about a half a minute each. Some of the doctors have, doctor innovators have shared their personal journeys. If you haven't, we'd like to hear from you. We'll begin with Dr. Sean Jones.
So really, I think otolaryngology tends to be a more technology heavy specialty just by its nature, operating in smaller spaces than a lot of other surgeons have traditionally been in. And so, particularly with endoscopic applications and microscopes and things like that, there's a little bit more, I believe, early buy-in perhaps within our specialty. And so when robotic surgery came along, I was an early adopter. And for me, it really is about expanding the capability and horizons of what we are able to do for patients, because things that perhaps were very difficult to do endoscopically, robotically now have become much easier at the base of the tongue. Of course, with new opportunities, and there are new challenges, as have been evidenced by the Doctor Innovators group and the challenges of being in those robotic places and the new difficulties that arise. But that's how change takes place. And just the whole idea of change and innovation, I think, is exciting and keeps you interested in your field. And that's sort of, I guess, in a nutshell, my journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jones. Very inspiring. Dr. Mohammed, I believe, could not be with us. I think he had indicated he had an emergency come up. Dr. Mehraj, please, your personal journey in this program.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, well, once we started the journey, it was like all Greek. We knew nothing about it. But as we moved on, we felt like earlier, in our profession, what we have been doing, most of our work was for patients. But now that we were thinking for our colleagues, for our surgical colleagues, to how to improve their working, how to improve their ergonomics. So it's a different feeling once you're doing it for yourself, for your colleagues. So it was a wonderful feeling. And going on, like digital surgery, artificial intelligence, it's going to be the future. So we all need to be we have to keep pace with what's going on in these projects. What's going on in digital surgery, what's going on in artificial intelligence. So we have to implement this technology to our surgical practice so that we as surgeons are comfortable, and it will automatically translate into a better patient outcomes. So that's what we are looking for. And this journey has helped us to achieve our goals, frame our goals in a much better manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mehraj. Very inspiring. And Dr. Hussona.
As an oral head and neck surgeon, always we are working in a limited space, narrow offices, and a very limited viewing, and seeking always for the better view and a good light. Also, working with the congenital anomalies and the tumor in this space is very difficult and need a good 3D orientation with good lighting. Digital technology and robotic surgery may help us to have the best view with the best anatomy differentiation for us. This is what we look for, and I think this journey have expanded the ideation about what we can do in the future.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Hussona. Thank you for sharing that. Dr. Wuraola has sent a message. She got called into the hospital in Nigeria, and she sent a message on her behalf that this training has opened my ability to conceive ideas and bring them to life. I particularly like the flow and the 6 Ds of exponential thinking that helped to open my mind, change my mindset. Thank you for the opportunity. So thank you, Dr. Wuraola. Dr. Akçam, please.
Hello. To me, the most impressive part of this program was addressing problems and acting for them. The steps that took us to creating a prototype as doctors was just astounding, because usually the people who work within a profession, if they work really, if they're really busy and if they have a big workload, they usually accept the hindrances and just try to power through. So pinpointing the problems and interviewing the other doctors to find solutions, and having the mindset to be creative and problem solving as this was just the impressive part of the program for me.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. Dr. Khout, I believe Dr. Khout could not be with us today. Dr. Gordini.
Yeah, what I like the most about our program was the mindset that the program provided us, and that brings the innovation into our clinical practice. And I like the way we get inspired by the design thinking process, and discussing about how much we solve a problem that affects our clinical practice was amazing. And I really wish to continue the collaboration with all my teammates and with all of you, and also to have new opportunities with the companies and research groups. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gordini. Let's move on to Dr. Paganini.
Well, as I've said before, I didn't really know what to expect from the journey when we started. And I was really interested in what's going on, what are other people doing, and where is medicine going? So I went into the journey just thinking would be a learning process of what other people are doing, and not a learning process of what we can do and what we could start doing. So I particularly love the crazy 8s where you get to sketch something for 8 minutes straight, because I never thought I was a creative person, or that I could think of solutions to things or even draw anything. And I figured it's the mindset. So that was great. And I'm really looking forward to collaborating with industries and with the team now on to be at the forefront of what we need as innovations and what we can do to make the job better and our patients better treated, all in all. So that was great. It changed the way I think. And that, I think, is the most valuable thing. So I have knowledge, but then I have another mindset going forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Paganini. And we will, after we're finished here, if we have a minute, we can move into quickly into the pathways where we will continue working together. Dr. Dela.
Hi. So my journey with this program is amazing, and all I thought is that I'll just be embracing or learning about new technologies, but then I go with the flow, and the flow, it changed me a lot. So it's not just developing yourself, but developing things that would be helpful for others in the future. It's just thinking for the better of the future. That's all.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, thank you. Referring to getting into the flow, getting it, being in the zone that we covered in the program. Dr. Ayaz.
Yes, sir. I would like to say a few words about digital health literacy, which is becoming a prerequisite for the future healthcare professional. However, according to a survey, 82% of the participating doctors received in total of only 5 or fewer hours of health training during their studies. Therefore, I like the fact that there are some certain platforms that are reaching out to doctors to guide them to nurture them and educate them on the importance of incorporating digital health technology for improvement of patient care and safety. And I wish there were more of such programs to improve digital health literacy of the healthcare professionals in order to increase their overall technology acceptance and prepare them for the future. I would also like to thank the creator of DIUP program for equipping us with the design thinking and digital health innovation mindset. And I wish we could make a difference in the field. At the end, I would also like to thank all the good doctors who were part of this amazing journey, and I wish them all the best for their future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well put. Dr. Tolani. Thank you, Dr. Ayaz. Dr. Tolani, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this program was, an holistic program. I actually thought, saying we are going into a digital upskilling program, I felt that it was just straightforward innovation. But it took us through the entire process. For me particularly, I was very much happy learning about a user-centered thinking for digital innovation. The process was iterative. There were a lot of adaptations, and it meant quite a lot getting back and then creating ideas. And that part I think I really enjoyed was, trying to make a decision out of a whole lot of beautiful ideas, that was suggested by the different doctor innovators. It was really a learning process. We gain skills, we get knowledge, and it's definitely upskilled me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Wonderful thing. So let's move on to just like to acknowledge some of the supporters that helped to make this happen. So again, everything coming together as a team effort. Dr. James Skanofsky co-developed with the High Tech Surgery Association and their 10,000 surgeon members, co-developed, co-facilitated. Dr. James got called into emergency surgery, sent a short video.
Hello, my dear friends. This is James Skanofsky, president of HTC High Tech Surgery Association. It is wonderful to be here with our partnership TAMP and is participating of this outstanding program, the DIUP. HTC is working in the goal of spreading knowledge, new technology, and to take care of populations in the four corners of the world using this new and fantastic technology to improve life. We are working 7 years from now on it, and our partnership with them is absolutely fundamental to achieve our aim. This program, the DIUP, is absolutely great and give conditions to our colleagues, surgeons, doctors, to participate and to take in mind everything new that is happening in the fantastic world of the technology applied to health.
Just to share, repeat some of the main points, spreading knowledge and co-developing this DIUP as a global program, improving patient care delivery, improving service care in the four corners of the world. We'd like to acknowledge the Global Medical Doctor Validation Association, helping to graciously provide grants to support this program, and also vetting and verifying the Doctor Innovator certificates and the Explorer certificates that are part of this program. Dr. Castigliola, would you like to say a few words in your role as president of GMDVA?
Yes, thank you very much. It's really the good opportunity to stay here today. And I would like to stress the importance of the objective of the GMDVA, it means to create the global market of the healthcare professional and the great opportunity to share the competence and the knowledge. We would like really to put together these competencies and to create the new opportunity for the young doctor and especially for the patients in the future. I invite everybody to participate and to stay with us in order to create the validated program, the validated diploma, the validated person capable to offer the best of the healthcare treatment around the world.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Castigliola. Dr. Hussona had sent a message, I believe, was flying from a conference in Egypt back to Denmark, and was going to try to log in, was not able to make it. Mr. Robert Yao, HTC DIUP co-development team and board member of TAMP. Robert, please.
Connecting from Singapore. Good evening. Just like I was saying, I'm connecting from Singapore, so I just want to touch on the words connecting the dots, okay? And I'm happy to hear the feedback that you all have given us. And this is exactly connecting the dots. Now, what do I mean by that? We all share about lifelong learning, right? Journey. And we are on a lifelong learning journey. For us to understand this journey, basically, it starts with learning, right? Learning and then development and growth, right? And when you talk about learning, most of the time, we don't think of learning as such. And this is what learning is about. It's about acquisition of knowledge, right? At this stage of acquisition of knowledge, it is very self. It's only useful to you and not useful to anybody because you are acquiring the knowledge yourself, right? So as you move from acquiring knowledge into development, this is the part where you now try to understand the knowledge you have acquired. Even at this stage of understanding the knowledge, it's still very self. You have the knowledge, you understand the knowledge, and it's still you and yourself, right? Then you move on to the next word, which is growth. Only at growth would then you are able to therefore not only understand the knowledge, you now take ownership of the knowledge, which means you now own the knowledge and you are now applying in your workplace. That's what you have been talking about, right? Application, applying. Now, as you apply in the workplace, you realize the knowledge you go through in your course or your development may not be able to apply every single item into your workplace. You still have to change and tweak. And in doing so, actually, you are creating new knowledge. That is where you're talking about developing the tools. How do I get out of this neck burden when I do surgery? And you come up with glasses, goggles, and all that. So that is where the application comes in. Okay, and only at this stage that knowledge then becomes useful to everybody because now you are sharing the knowledge with the community. So if you think in this manner, that is why DIUP becomes important. What we are doing is we are now trying to create a global doctor community where you can connect with each other and grow through sharing of knowledge, through sharing of experience. And that's what this course is all about. And also to open you up to think that you are not doing this for yourself, you're doing for the community. You now have a platform to go to. You now have a movement to work on collectively. And from here, you grow. You grow collectively as a community.
Thank you, Rob. Wow, very, very insightful, very inspiring. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Robert. So let's just say that again, the journey continues. I said we were going to talk a little bit about the pathways in the ecosystem. And we will finish up here. I know we're over time. I just wanted to quickly note our doctor innovators are now certified. They will move into the ecosystems where they can begin to build sustainable win-win ecosystems in their communities, in their region, their countries, where they will, some choosing to become Dr. Innovator co-facilitators themselves, working through medical associations, societies, academies. The second pathway is providing services, our corporate digital employee wellness program. Others choosing to move on and continuing projects, design projects like that we practice and simulated in this program to actually co-design and co-create with our partner providers and then distribute in our coming market network marketplace. So many opportunities to continue working together. Thank you, everyone. We hope to see you at our next cohort grand finale. Thank you very much for being here and supporting these programs and supporting these wonderful doctor innovators. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Obrigado.
Bye.